Today is December 24th, the fourth Sunday of Advent. We are right at the cusp of Christmas tomorrow. Tonight is Christmas Eve. And on the fourth Sunday of Advent, we finally get to the story of the birth of Jesus. We hear in Mark's Gospel, this is how the birth of Jesus Christ came about. So notice, for the past 23 days, we've been speaking about the event of Jesus, and now we're getting ready to celebrate his birth, what we call the Incarnation. Today's opening prayer comes from the Angelus prayer. And here's the prayer: pour forth, we beseech you, O Lord, your grace into our hearts, that we, to whom the incarnation of Christ your Son was made known by the message of an angel, may by his passion and cross be brought to the glory of his resurrection. So now we are ready to look at Mary. Mary as the model and mother. She's the first disciple, if you will. And we hear the story today of the Annunciation. The angel Gabriel came to Mary and said, you're going to have a son and you'll name him Jesus. Now, Hebrew names had meanings to them. So the name Gabriel, means heroic act of God. So the angel Gabriel is one who announces that a heroic act of God. So Gabriel came to Mary, and the name Mary is a Hebrew name that stands for the human condition, for all of us. So the heroic act of God came to the human condition and said, you're going to have a child and you're going to name him Jesus. Jesus in the Old Testament is Joshua, and that name means God saves. So if you knew Hebrew, and if you know those words, Gabriel came to Mary and said, you're going to have Jesus. By a heroic act of God, in the midst of our human condition, God will save us. That's the gospel. And that's what we're getting ready to experience and getting ready to relive. And so tonight, on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day, it's important to know we're not just singing happy birthday to Jesus. We're not just remembering something that happened 2,000 years ago. We get to participate in the saving action of Christ right here, right now. That's one of the gifts of our Catholic faith. We believe that when we celebrate the Eucharist and the Mass, the saving power of Christ is present. And in fact, the eternal Christ who will come at the end of time is present. We get a sense of what the reign of God will be like. That's why at Mass we give a sign of peace. That's the peace of Christ waiting to reign over the entire world. We need that peace desperately. And then we receive the body and the blood of our Lord. We receive Christ, who is coming again to enter into our life and to change everything. And so on this very final day of Advent, don't miss the opportunity to recognize that Christ wants to be born again in you and in me. Our Saint Meister Eckhart said, what good is it that Christ was born 2,000 years ago if he's not born in you and in me right here in this place right now at this time? Christ simply loves you, and he wants to know you, and he wants you to know him. That's why he came. So come to know him this Christmas.